yet another video. My name is Karen. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you found this channel, and I hope that you're going to click, like, subscribe, and do all those things. So today I just want to encourage you, someone who is out there looking for a job, someone who's probably lost their job because of this current pandemic, just to know that the Lord is out there for you. Like, the Lord knows. I don't know how I can better say this, but the Lord cares and He knows your current situation, and it's all under control. Like, you might think that you're losing your head, you might think that you do not have, or maybe the situation might be that you are not able even to afford a meal on your table. Like, this video is just out there to encourage you and know that God really does care. As I share my story with you, I pray that you're going to see God in every tiny bit of things that I'm going to share with you guys. So I applied in early 2016, early or late 2016. I'm not really good with the memory, because the thing is, I applied, like, when I received the shortlisting. I was checking online and seeing that I've been shortlisted. I was like, wow, like, I had forgotten all about this. That's why I can't remember really when I did apply for this job. But I'm that one person who I always, like, when I see a job advertisement, it just excites me. Like, I want to apply and just see how is it going to be. And I love going to interviews. Interviews do not scare me. Like, I love interviews. I like having to explain, especially what I do, to someone, and just feeling them. I feel like I am such a resource. I'm such an asset to them. Like, they'll be, oh, I think we need this person in our company. So I love attending interviews. So sorry if I digress. So I got this notification, and I was prepared for the interview, but the interview again took way long. You know, I work for the government, and they take long to hire. At that time, like, I had even gotten another job and I was working. I had forgotten about it. Like, the time they put out the applications, and then when they call you for, like, when you get shortlisted for an interview, and then at the time that you're going to be interviewed, actually when you're interviewed and then you pass, that's when you know, things remember. But before then, no hurry. So I had gotten another job, which I really loved. I'm a social worker by profession. Now, at this time, I was working as a social worker at a rescue center for girls, and I enjoyed doing that. I enjoyed, like, seeing these girls come in very weak at that time, maybe because of what they have gone through, but I enjoyed nurturing them and just talking to them, and finally even reintegrating them back to their families. I loved doing that, such that when I got this job, I was like, what do I do? Like, I was torn. Lord, I love this work, but then you're calling me here. What do I do? Now, it was so bad that I even had to take 3 days of prayer and fasting. Now, my assembly, where I attended church at that time, we had 3 days of prayer. It was either at the beginning of or at the end of the month. So I plugged in, and at that time, that was my prayer to God. Like, show me, God, where do you want me to go? Because I love working with the children, and this, when you're calling me, guys, I was like, it's so weird, because I was working with children who are vulnerable, who are victims, and then here I am being called to work with offenders. Like, from innocent to, and in my own thinking, like, looking at it with my eyes, I would say, maybe the one for the girls was where I was called. But I said, let me just go to God in prayer. This is why it's very, very important for you to connect with God and just to let God lead you. Now, at the end of that, of the 3 days of prayer and fasting, I had received my answer through a dream. It was so funny. Through a dream, God just showed me that where He was, that the job that He was calling me to was this new one. Now it was like, God, please help me tell my employer that I'm going to leave. And it wasn't the easiest, because I remember I cried. I cried, and yeah, and I had to leave. I left them and moved now to this my new workplace. And at this workplace, now this is where I want you to see God. Okay, God has been there from the beginning, but there's something that happened just upon moving in. I moved to this place in about June 2017. Now I move in, and about 3 weeks or 2 weeks, I received another invitation for an interview. And this is a very big organization. It is that dream place that, I don't know if everyone wants to work there, but most people want to work there. Like, I received the invitation and I was like, wow. And they lay out the terms, and oh my word, these people are even giving me what was they calling it? It's not a movement, but there's something they call it, like, because you're in a different town. Like, when I fill in the form, I told you guys, I never turned down an interview. When I was filling in, or like, where do you live? Or maybe it's because they cater for movement. In case you are successful in the interview, they will give you a movement money fee or something like that. And then the pay was, at that time I was earning, the pay was around 3 times. Let me take a moment. 3 times of what I was getting paid. Now saying that, I went for the interview. I nearly took us away. The way you mean me to the interview, knowing this is another, like, knowing the Lord had wanted me to be here where I am right now. I was just telling myself, I'm going to show the world, here I am, to show the world, and to even prove it to myself that these places, they're those places we think you have to know someone to be called there for an interview, even to be shortlisted. Yeah, so I went proving to myself, and like, just saying to God, like, truly God, you're showing me that these are places that us as your saints are free for us. Like, the world or people around us may put them in another category, but for you as a child of God, there's nothing that is off limits for you. There's nowhere that is off limits for you. That company that you want to work for, it can be yours. Yes, you can work there. You can even be the MD. You can even be the CEO. Because you're a child of God, there's an anointing that you carry. There's something that is within you that other people do not have. So here I was. I actually just took an off day or something and went. Wow, I got there. Like, funny, because I traveled in the morning, and that, wow, like, interviews with me are best friends. I woke up in the morning, and I got there, I think, some minutes to my time for interview. And I went in, and I enjoyed the interview. I loved explaining what I love. Like, guys, you know what ticks for you. Can you imagine someone telling you to tell them about that which ticks for you? Like, you know what? Seeing their faces just gives me, it just gives me joy. Like, a teacher who is teaching a new concept to the children, or maybe to the students, and they're like, how do you know this? You're a genius. That's how I view interviews. Like, it's my time to shine. It's my time to show you what I'm bringing on the table. So I gave my best, and it had to do with children. I love working with children. So, it was the best. So I went back to work as normal, and few days later, or weeks later, I got the mail that you have been accepted. And then there, it's funny because at that time I wasn't laughing. I was like, this is where I even started doubting God. Like, thank you guys, God speaks, but then when something comes, like, kitu kidogo hivi zinafanya yake tunasahau God. Okay. Like, so I started telling God, did you really want me to be here? Did you really say that I should be here? Did you? And then I started bargaining with God. At that point where you've asked God for this thing, God has shown you this is the way, and then you're like, when you get it, and then something else comes by, like unapata baraka, and then when something passes by, like, okay, someone has to slap you and come back here. So I went into praying again, and I told God, like, this is how I feel like, God, you know where I am. There's a lot of, hapo watu feature data, like people cook data, maybe people are not even straight. And I haven't been to this place for a long time. My notion of what working in the government was, I don't want to use the term lazy, but that is what I was implying. Like, God, I want a place where I can be challenged for growth. Hapa hivi Mungu, I'll stick around. And you know how stagnation is in the government? Like, God, and God is faithful. Like, God is just God. Thank God he's God, because he is God. Thank God he is God. And he just dropped it in my heart. I don't even have a word for it, because I just heard that, Karen, you are the light. You are my light. You're supposed to shine my light where you are. Woo! And with that, I actually went to my laptop and just did what is that called? Declination. Is it a declination? To decline an offer. A declination of an offer kind of mail. So I declined the offer, and I said, Lord, this is where you want me to be, and I will stay here. Guys, an interesting part. Now, I have a friend, a very close friend, because I know she's watching. Hi, girl. So she was working at that place, and she was rooting for me to go there. She was like, gosh, now we are going to work together. And I was also excited. I was so excited. First, not because of the name of the company, but also because I knew that from here, like, unajua ni ile ukiweka kwa CV yako, it carries weight. Like, and then I knew the challenges that I'm going to get to this, from working here. Then I know zitani catapult. Like, unajua kama fair, like they just throw me. Like, in 5 years to come, I'll be like somewhere. Yeah, so she was excited. She was like, come and work, come. Like, yeah, so of course, I don't know if I'm wrong, girl, but you let me know. She wasn't not happy, but she was like, why are you saying no? Why are you saying no to this offer? Like, look at it this way. You're gonna gain a lot of experience. It's something good, looks good on you, say there. But I was like, okay, God ananiambia. But then that thing is usually true. Like, when God tells you something, don't be afraid. Usiogope kusema ni God amekwambia. Like, ni God amenishow nikata hii offer. Like, even from my family who are telling me, take this one. Like, apana. I mean, I have to obey God. Yeah, I have to obey God. Like, my flesh wants the company so bad, but God said no. So I said no, and when I told her, she was like, I trust your decision. I came back and started working. I enjoy. I'll tell you guys what I do. So I was enjoying. I settled, And was it 6 months down the line or 3 months down the line? My friend will come and say, hey, Karen, Mimi, I have to see you. I have to see you in person. One day she just decided to tell me what it is that she has been wanting to tell me. And guys, praise the Lord. So she told me, you remember that job offer that you declined? Imagine it was scrapped off. What? Yes, it didn't take about, is it 3 or 6 months? I'm not so sure, but 3 or 6 months, and then it was scrapped off from the program kabisa. Like, something that probably had never happened. And she was like, wow, Karen, your God really loves you. And that one just made me. I gave that testimony, like, I don't know, I probably shared it with friends, and I myself could not believe it at that time. Like, my mind couldn't believe it. But then I saw the love of God. That God loved me so much. God loved me. I don't know. Sasa sijui nisemeje. Like, God alinipenda nikiwa huko. Like, alinipenda beyond the 6 months. Alinipenda beyond the 1 year. He loved me in the future. And he saw, Karen, if you do this, then this one is going to, it will cause a lot of heartache to you. It will cause a lot of destabilization to you. It will cause a lot of grief to you. And in this sense, because I would have moved back to Nairobi. Remember, I had moved to this new county. I had left Nairobi. So I would have moved back to Nairobi. I would have maybe looked for another house, and of course I have to look for another house, settled, and I live with my niece, look for a school for her and all things. And then 3 months or 6 months down the line, guys, do you see God's protection? Do you see God's love? Do you see just God, the all-knowing? That thing really humbled me. Like, it made me know. It actually grounded my assurance in where I was at the moment. And I knew for certain I'm meant to be in this place. If there's another thing that made my settling more easier to this place, is because I knew, because of that, because I knew God wanted me to be here. And what would have happened? What would have happened if I decided to fulfill my flesh and just pack and go to Nairobi? Because of the name, because of the brand, because of the experience that I'm thinking I needed. You know, would God still have protected me? Would God still have loved me? Yes, I believe He would. But what I would suffer is the consequences of my own disobedience. And I think that at times we think that when we are suffering from the disobedience, I'm not saying suffering from probably other things other than the one I'm talking about, because if I would have gone, that would have been an utter disobedience. Now, disobedience brings with it consequences, and unfortunately God can't go through the consequences for us. It is for us to go through that, and that doesn't mean that God doesn't love you. He would still have loved me when I would be jobless. Then He would still have loved me, but what would I have gotten out of it? With a lesson that when God speaks, I ought to trust Him. My trust in Him was strengthened. My assurance for me in this place was complete. I knew that I needed to be here. And when I had that, I praised Jesus. Now, why am I sharing this? You might be at a place where you do not know what to do. You might be at a place where you've lost your source of income. You might be at a place probably like mine where you have two decisions and you don't know which one to take. But I would urge you to trust God. Even in the seemingly less appealing jobs, God can still be glorified in it. So I pray that you'll see a God who loves you, not only when the things are good, but also when things are bad. Because I know for certain, like I am so convinced, if I had taken that job, I wouldn't have lost out on God's love. But would I have paid for it? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. And does that mean that God wouldn't provide for me another job? Of course He would. But the consequences of it wouldn't have been pretty. And since then, I continually thank God for this job that He has given me. It may not be as glamorous. It may not be having probably a good name to it. It may probably not be like if I say I work here and people are like, oh, so you have such a wide experience. No, which I also believe I have such a wide experience. It's a very good place. But you get what I'm saying. And for you who has lost a job and are trusting in God for a job, imagine just know that He cares. Like, believe in my God. Who cares? He cares for you, and at the right time, at the right time, at the right time, at the right time, my sister or my brother, at the right time, He will make all things beautiful. And then you will be looking back, the way I'm looking back and the way things were unfolding, even without me knowing. You'll be able to look back and have a story to encourage someone else. Yeah, you have a story to encourage someone else. So may God bless you so much. May God do something for you that will strengthen your faith and your trust in Him. Until another video, see you, and God bless you.